The Incredible Hulk will not be presented this evening.
Damn!
You are watching The DL Show on Dave's Guitar Channel.
Alrighty, there's Krellbar. Welcome back, everybody. Jables is here tonight.
What's
telling
up?
me it's Pride Month. Thank you, Jables, for giving me the happy Pride Month.
Of course. And in
Hello,
fairness,
Fresco.
So far, this is the gayest thing I've done all June. So
Yeah. Well, you know, usually I'm running around throwing confetti. Oh, that's right. That's Rip Taylor.
Taylor.
Yeah.
Brother.
Hey now, Jan's
What's up,
here.
Joe?
Hello, everyone.
That's the name of the cat litter my cat uses is Frisco.
Frisco.
Every time I see that, I think of that.
Hello, Frisco. Oh, my goodness. Speaking of Gay Pride Month, have you guys seen, you know who, when I always make the jokes about Scott Thorson?
Yep.
There are some interviews with Scott Thorson where he is telling all his sexual affair with Michael Jackson, his intimate times with Liberace. He even kind of talks. I mean, he looks like Liberace, but even he has the same, like, oh, I know. You know, it's like, it's jarring. But you got to see the guy because the chin, it's the whole, you should see the looks I get at the Safeway. Yeah, but he talks about Liberace, the gay sex parties. This guy was hysterical, though. But apparently he claims to have had a sexual relationship with Michael Jackson. And he did say that Michael suffers from a very old disease called smallpox.
Oh, God.
It's a great interview. It's a must-watch, guys. A must-watch. Thank you, Johnny Kramer, for taking care of the weather reports. Sorry, John. What?
I was going to say, do you think that Michael experienced any shrinkage as he got like more and more white?
That's a great question.
Yeah, he was hung like a horse when he was a kid, and the more white he got, and shrunk right up.
No, he used laundry safe bleach.
It's well, Thorson
really
talks about all the. Did you guys ever see the movie Behind the Candelabra?
No, not yet.
All right, so the doctor that gets everybody drugs and basically is Rob Lowe. And the guy who was the real character, I guess he was the one who started getting Michael on all the painkillers for this, and when he was doing the surgeries, and which led to the propofol or whatever it is, so he could fall asleep. And yeah, in fact, I have a doctor, a clip here from a doctor who did an exam of Michael Jackson. Let's see what he says, how he did.
He's a fag.
Well, that settles that. No, but anyways, it was an
Sure, that
interesting
was
thing,
yeah.
though, because he talks about, he did not think that Michael Jackson was diddling the kids.
Hmm.
He did say Michael was gay, and but that Michael he didn't believe that because he just didn't think that's what he wanted.
But was he diddling Corey Feldman?
No one's diddling Corey Feldman.
No one's diddling.
Not even the Angels.
Yeah, Corey Feldman has been playing this card for a long time now, right? What has it been? 10, 15 years that he's dangling that carrot of how he's going to expose
he
Hollywood
sucks.
people, and then he never does.
Right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he never will either. It's
Ricky Compton
a lot of
says
bullshit.
Bogner Shiva or Ubershaw.
Ubershaw.
The only time you need an Uber shawl is when you're playing in a metal band.
I
Shiva,
still think I'd rather play the
100%.
Shiva in that situation.
Oh, I agree with you. I totally do.
For me, Shiva all the way.
I agree.
I think it's probably, and this is going to be a bold statement because I think he makes a ton of great stuff. I think the Shiva might be Bogner's best amp.
Hard to disagree. I like it more than the
it's
Ecstasy.
great. Yeah.
I like it more than the Ecstasy. The only thing that the Goldfinger might have a better clean, even though the Shiva clean's great. The Goldfinger
Shiva's clean's great. I was going to say, if it does have a better clean, it's not that much better.
Yeah, Goldfinger clean is special.
Yeah.
But either way, I mean, who's buying a Bogner because you're like, I really need a clean amp. It's just
Right.
not what you're doing.
Yeah.
That Dirty
I
Channel
take
and
the
Shiva
Shiva.
is great, really great. I
I think somebody
Cantrell
did a
was-
video recently.
Didn't Cantrell record with early Bogner Shiva and a dual rectifier on Dirt? I think.
Possibly.
I think that was the combination on that record, according to Dave Friedman.
Or the VHT Pitbull, which is now called the Fryette Pitbull. I think I like the Shiva better than the Pitbull, although the Pitbull's a great amp.
I'll tell you what I don't like about the Pitbull, because all he makes now, if you're talking about a new one, all he makes now is the Pitbull Ultra Lead and the Classic 100 with that 6-band EQ.
Right.
I don't want the EQ. The old
Yeah.
one, he made one for years. It was called the 100 CL, and it did not have that EQ on it. I really like that one. That one sounded great. I had one. I sold it because I'm retarded, and that's how that goes. So was the story of my life. That amp is really, really great. And another one, if you are in that camp and you're trying to find an amp that kills, look for Splon Quick Rods. Splon Quick Rod is
I haven't heard that name in a while.
freaking awesome, and that's gonna be on Craigslist for maybe $1,300 or something.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Johnny Kramer says he's just trying to protect. You're Jay Santos from the Citizens Auxiliary Police. We're here to save lives. I see Johnny Kramer's name there. Who I talked to the other day was Gary Kramer. He had to go to a wedding in Nantucket. And so we weren't going to be able to meet up because he had too much stuff to do. He had to run to Salem for the day, and our timing was off. But I talked to him briefly, and he's doing good. I love Gary. We had a lot of fun with him.
How old is he now? He's got to be late 70s?
Oh, I would say, God, maybe mid 70s.
Yeah, well,
hold on. Yeah, I would say early to mid.
okay. Yeah,
If I had to guess.
guy. Really good guy.
Yeah, but I could be wrong. He could be older. I don't know. He always seemed younger than he was.
Mm.
Good one, Jan.
What's the doofus's name, by the way, that wrote the Van Halen book?
Oh,
Steve Rosen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Steve Rosen. got a bone to pick with Steve Rosen.
Ooh, well, this forum on this show doesn't really allow for. Please go right ahead.
So Steve Rosen was more or less harassing me on LinkedIn. And by that, I mean, he asked me 3 distinctly different times if I wanted a copy of his book and if I would just go out and start promoting his book for him. I'm going to send you a free copy, but I want you to tell all of your industry friends about it, blah, 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 all that sort of thing. He hit me like 3 different times on that. First 2 times, I didn't pay attention to him. Third time, I was like, all right, this guy's not relenting. So I said to him something, I responded to him, something along the lines of like, hey, man, I'm not the biggest fanboy you're ever going to come across, but I'm happy to support your artistic endeavor. Something like that. I said something like that. And he got all butthurt and was like, fine, if you don't like Van Halen, forget it. And then he goes, I was going to go into the Van Halen forums and really push Bad Cat. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
First of all,
Yeah.
there was
in the
never any mention of any like tit for tat in your exchanges, right? This guy was just hitting me up, begging me to go and promote him, which I have no interest in doing. And then he hits back like that with like a 3rd grader because I said, not that I'm not a fan of Steve, but I was just like, I'm just, I'm not the world's biggest fanboy of Eddie Van Halen.
You're a casual fan.
And holy shit, he just gets all pissy and butthurt. So
I just friended him on Facebook.
I was going to say, in case Steve Rosen happens upon this, I would just like to tell you, go fuck yourself.
Ooh.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah. What a dummy.
Yeah. Well,
I think he might be a dummy. That's all it is.
There's a lot, like I said, when he contacted me to come on the show and then blew me off, all bets are off on him. But
I think he's a dummy.
I told him, I said, I'm not the biggest fan. I love Eddie. And Eddie's probably, dollars to donut, my favorite guitar player. But that's where it ends. Like, I don't think, I've heard enough stories from people where he wasn't a nice guy, and I heard stories from people where he's a great guy. I don't give a shit. I'm not looking to hang out with him. Or was I? I know he wasn't that nice to Valerie because he went, Valerie. I'm sorry.
That's true. He did say that.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
But, I mean, Eddie was awesome. I mean, I tell people all the time, you know what the big difference between Eddie Van Halen, Steve Vai, and Joe Satriani is? Eddie Van Halen has sex appeal. These other guys are really just trying to get like 13-year-old boys all worked up. This guy's awesome. But like Eddie was out there making music, which has sex appeal. He had a smile. He was out there playing. Wasn't so serious. Who got
Stride Right?
He's
Keeps
talking
asking,
about the
who?
author, Steve Rosen, Stride Right.
Yeah, loosely use the term author.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these books I'll tell you what a good book was, for fact's sake, the Bob Daisley book. But, where he's telling the story himself. But a lot of these books, it's like, I mean, how many, I took Eddie to meet this guy. I took him to, all right. It's like, Eddie was great. But I got to tell you, when Yngwie came on the scene with Alcatraz, I think Eddie became the Eddie we know on the Sammy Hagar Eddie. Could you imagine what Van Halen would have done if he had lived? Yeah, I imagine. Yngwie came out and fucking gave him his fucking breakfast.
Speaking of Yngwie,
Hi, Ricky.
I remember a few years ago when Steve Rosen was on Johnny Bean's thing, I called him out in the chat, and he actually had to respond to it. He was talking about being backstage at the US Festival talking to Yngwie. I said, no, he wasn't at the US Festival.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, I must have it mixed up with another time. It's like, well, if your memory's bad, you shouldn't be writing about the past.
Right.
Exactly.
That's a great
That's
line
a great
right
fucking
there.
point. That is There's your what do they call that? Your tagline for the book. That's the one from Crowbar. That'll be in the inside back cover. If you have a bad memory, you shouldn't write about the fucking past.
That's funny.
Now listen, I don't want to disparage any guitar players on here. I love all guitar players.
Since when?
Except for Vinnie Vincent. I don't know why I cannot stand this thing. So I'm listening on YouTube. I'm smoking a cigar the other day, and I'm watching Gary Shea. You guys know who Gary Shea was?
No.
Mm-hmm.
He was a bass player of a band called New England, and they ended up getting. They wanted to get Fergie Fredrickson to sing for this new band they were going to have called Warrior, and they had guitar player Vinnie Vincent at the time, who was still Vinnie Cusano. And it never took off because Vinny got the offer for Kiss, and then he went to go play with Kiss, and then Fergie went to go play with Toto, and so in comes Graham Bonnet and one Yngwie J. Malmsteen. So Gary was the bass player for Alcatraz. Anyways, he's talking about just working with. And it's funny because there was 2 interviews, but I will say this. Gary says when he was playing with Vinnie Vincent, he's like, his playing was like Mick Jones, a foreigner. Every note counted. Everything sounded great. He said after Yngwie came out, Vinnie did the Vinnie Vincent invasion. And he's like, the guy's record, and I think it was Carmine Appice, who's like, the record is unlistenable. The guitars are too high. You don't hear any drums. You don't hear any bass. The vocals are terrible. And it's like, all of a sudden, he's just wanking his balls off trying to be Yngwie. And it's like, it just doesn't work.
A lot of that stuff you recorded slower and sped it up.
It's just not good, though.
I feel like you almost
Stride right, he was. Yeah, Gary Shea was Alcatraz.
It's funny that you brought up Bob Daisley and now you're talking about Yngwie. I had 2 very nerdy deep dives this week in music. For some reason, I've been on this old Ozzy kick where I've been listening to Randy Rhoads albums.
Okay.
Which I don't spend a lot of time with, and I honestly haven't since I've been about 13. I'm familiar with all of it, but
yeah, great stuff.
But I haven't spent time with it lately in the last couple decades, and I did this week. And God damn, I don't. Everybody talks about Jakey Lee. Thinner.
Yes.
Talk about Jake and like he's such a great riff guy and yada yada. It's like, dude, those riffs on the Randy records are great.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It's a different level.
Yeah,
Randy
Spado and Revelation Mother Earth and all that shit. Oh, it's so good.
I really think the Diary of a Madman was even better. Like I love I'm a believer.
Yeah.
Now.
Great.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I mean, he was great. And you know, the solos don't have to be so perfect. Like, I mean, they were great, but forget about the solos, just the riff. And the same thing with Van Halen. You can forget about the solos, just the music itself was great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like fucking ZZ Top on Coke, but still.
Totally. But I have a lot of appreciation for that. And the other thing you were talking about Yngwie, and I'm piggybacking on Yngwie here.
No, good.
I've never actually listened to like cover to cover of old Deep Purple. I've been kind of deep diving Deep Purple as well.
Okay, so give me the records.
Well, Machine Head and Burn, pretty much cover to cover.
Awesome.
Which I don't really
The
get
one between the two was my favorite.
Which one?
Who Do We Think We Are?
Oh,
okay.
What an album.
But
yeah.
Talking about John Thompson at Badcat, the owner of Badcat, and me were hanging the other day, and he found this YouTube thing that was a video. I shouldn't say it was a video; it was just audio, but it was Richie Blackmore's isolated guitar tracks from Highway Star.
Yeah,
that dude was playing like Yngwie in 1970.
Yeah,
which I know Yngwie always cites him. But when you listen to like that organ arpeggio thing at the beginning of the solo, I don't know if you can hear that Richie's doubling the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
But he is. And you listen to the isolated track of like the descending arpeggio thing, and he's playing it on an AC30 with a range master and a Strat, and it's getting nailed. And you're just like, holy hell. This guy was like, I mean, I get it now. Like,
No, he's great. And by the way, I
can't
would take an
believe it.
AC30 with a range master over the JVM 100. Somebody in the chat's talking about the JVM 100 having high, it's got great gain. I am not a huge fan of super high gain. I think any amp, like the dual rectifier, I used to keep that at like 55%, like just over the halfway mark. Never dined it. There's no need for all that gain. I like a sound better when it's not so gainy.
The JVM, I had one, and it's like it's just too much jammed into one amp. It does a few things well, but it's like
if you listen to Whitesnake, Fool for Your Lovin' from 1980, and then listen to the Fool for Your Lovin' with Steve Vai playing, the tone on the Vai's guitar is terrible compared to that original one with Bernie Marsden.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're totally right.
Yeah. It's just a much better sound. I tend to like more of a push, like, that Judas Priest sound on Rapid Fire.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's monstrous. It sounds, and yet, like, their sound when they play on Painkiller is just.
I hear you. Yeah, it's punchier. The cleaner amp is just punchier sounding. The
sounding.
I finally finished that 18-watt Marshall that I was building, and I used it at rehearsal the other night. And I actually ended up not using the dirty channel at all because at band volumes, that 18-watt is like driving the shit out of those EL84 and really breaking up. So I used the plexi side the whole night with nothing but a tube screamer, and it was pretty fun to play.
Nice.
Because, I mean, you're playing... I mean, it's effectively responding and sounding like you're playing a plexi. I mean, that channel, what, in 1974?
And this was the OJ's tribute band you're in?
This is correct. Yes.
You guys are sitting there playing.
So
money.
No, there's definitely not enough headroom to play in a hard rock band with that amp, but it's the dirty sounds were killer.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's wild to listen to that Ritchie Blackmore tone from those old records and be like, oh yeah, Ritchie was using Marshalls. So, no, he fucking wasn't. Not even.
Well,
close.
live he did. He used that master, right? That awful Marshall Master.
The Marshall
Major.
Yeah,
well,
the 200 watt.
Yeah, he was going for that mountain of sound, but it doesn't sound even remotely like a Marshall on the studio recordings.
Right. Yeah, it's brighter.
It's ratty sounding. It sounds like an AC30. 100% it sounds like an AC30. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, those were my deep dives up until today when I deep dived back into the Blue Nile. But we don't have to get into that because
no. So when you messaged me, I was in the middle of doing a few things. Marillion is the band you were enjoying. You were saying
I was listening to some Marillion, but it kicked me back into Blue Nile
which is the best,
as it does.
Yeah. And Peace at Last is great. That whole record's great.
I like. I mean, they only have 4 studio records.
Yeah.
And I like all 4 of them.
Yeah, they're all excellent.
They all sound distinctly different from each other. But I feel like I might like High more than you like High. But I like that record a lot.
I think High I like High the third best.
Okay.
I think Peace at Last might be my least favorite, and I love the record.
Oh, okay. Got it.
But I don't know, High has Because of Toledo?
Yeah, which I love.
In fact, I think High is probably the most like Hats in its sonicness.
If the folks out there don't know the band The Blue Nile, that DL and I have talked about for 5 years together on this show.
Yes.
Probably, I don't know, at least 10 times. You got to go listen to The Blue Nile. You got to give it a shot. It is.
Yeah.
What is it fair to say? It is the most somber music that you enjoy.
Yeah, I call it like working man's electronica, kind of melancholic. It's I mean, it definitely underlines the depressing tone of everyday life. At the same time, it's a joy.
It is funny like that. You can listen to a track that's got very positive lyrics and moments of like uplifting chords, but then they weave in these voicings that get really melancholy and somber.
Oh,
And you're just
on
like,
Let's
how
Go,
in the
when he's
hell
singing
does
the
he do
song
that?
about going out at night, let's go out tonight.
Let's
He's
go
just
out
like,
tonight.
baby, baby, let's go out tonight. And it's got that 9-note playing on top. It's like, this fucking guy's tearing my soul out. I love Paul Buchanan.
I know. I was that whole thing. Just so you know, the way it started was I was listening to this track called "White Paper," which is a Marillion tune, and I've listened to both of these bands now for 15. Well, I mean, I've been listening to Marillion since like the early '90s, but I've been listening to Blue Nile since you turned me on to them around 06. So wow,
Yeah.
coming up on 20 years. Okay,
Wow.
so I'm listening to him for all that time, and anyway, I'm listening to this song "White Paper," and I'm like, Steve Hogarth sounds like he's trying to do his best Paul Buchanan impression right now.
That's hilarious.
So I text Matthew, who's my British mate at Bad Cat. He's the guy over in London. His wife is personal friends with the guys from Marillion and Stephen Wilson from Porcupine Tree as well. So to drop some names, I don't know any of these people, but this guy's wife, anyways, is. And I said to Matthew,
Porcupine Tree is Steve Wilson, right?
yeah.
I love him.
Yeah. So I said to Matthew, I said, hey, I'm listening to Marillion right now, and I got to say, I think Steve Hogarth is really trying to channel the Blue Nile. And I didn't know. And he goes, I have no idea who the Blue Nile is, but Sarah, his wife, just saw that comment, and she said, oh my God, that guy's so right. And I said, okay, tell me more. And apparently Steve Hogarth has said on numerous occasions that his favorite band of all time is the Blue Nile.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's fucking wild. That took me 20 years to put that together, but it was
hilarious.
Really funny to get it kind of confirmed from an insider there.
Well, I think the first album for the Blue Nile came out like, I want to say 84. And I only heard of it because there was this in 1989, the summer of 89. There was an MTV show at like 1 a.m, and it was the Blue Nile talking about the first album, and they have a new album coming out that's going to be the first album in 6 years or 5 years. And I'm like, oh, and I listened to the thing, and I'm like, man, I like the way this thing sounds. So I went out and bought a Walk Across the Rooftops.
Okay.
Like, then October of 89, Hats comes out. I pick it up the day it comes out. Instantly, it's one of my favorite records because I think it's fantastic. I still to this day do. And then I saw them like a couple of months later on the tour. It was like the 5th show, and there was nobody there. It was like me and 10 people.
Yeah.
It was fucking unbelievable. And I saw them again on the Peace at Last tour at the Roxy in LA.
That'd be 96.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly when it was.
Yeah, it was 96. And then when was High released? Like 2003?
Early 2000s. I think it's like 2000 on the nose, but I could be wrong. I think it's like
released on August 30th, 2004.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, and that's it. There's people in the chat here that have said they've tried listening to Blue Nile a few times, and that we're both a little too indulgent in this.
Yeah, you know, I will say this. So, like, I love music that depresses me. Because I think generally I'm a happy guy, and when stuff tears you down. So, like, I find the Blue Nile somewhat depressing and I like that. Like Ricky Lee Jones' first album, there's a depressing tone to it. Early Tom Waits, I love. And when I say early, I mean like Foreign Affair, Blue Valentines, like, and so I like that. Like I like when just like almost like Babylon Sisters or Home at Last from Steely Dan. Like I like when songs are like introspective. And so for me, the Blue Nile was like, I mean, David Sylvian's 1986 album, Gone to Earth, does that. In fact, I would put David Sylvian's Gone to Earth up there too as like just a great must-listen record.
I'm
It's
writing
definitely
that down because I've never heard it.
I think more. In fact, Sylvian and Steve Wilson, Sylvian's old bandmates, are in a band with Steve Wilson.
What's that record called?
Gone to Earth.
Gone to Earth.
Is the 1986 David Sylvian record.
Which
Robert
band
Fripp
members
plays on
it. Played with Steve Wilson.
Richard Barbieri, the keyboard player, and Mick Karn,
I don't know who that
and
is.
Steve Jansen.
Okay. Gone to Earth. What is it?
Gone to Earth by David Sylvian.
Got it. Okay. All right. I gotta talk to Stride Right directly here. He said he has a friend that was into Marillion, but he couldn't get into them himself because it reminded him of Fate's Warning. If your recollection is that Marillion sounds even the slightest bit like Fate's Warning, that's way off.
No, it's not.
They're not. They have absolutely zero metal influence in their music at all. You have to be thinking of a different band.
Right.
If anything, I would say the early Marillion stuff, which I know is not going to be everybody's flavor, sounds like a poor man's Peter Gabriel era Genesis. They were really trying to pull that off. And then once Steve Hogarth got in the band and the other guy left, it got way more somber and spacious, and it sounds a lot more like if they tried to incorporate all that Blue Nile sort of stuff into it.
Stride Right he was saying it's not like Fate's Warning, but like Fate's Warning, it's it was missing. Yeah, well, Fate's Warning's missing talent, songs, sound. They
were kind of like the worst of that breed of Queensryche wannabe, I think. Like the guy singing way too high, forced prog sort of riffage and all that sort of stuff.
Should call him.
He says it reminds him of Yes. From what I remember of Marillion, it was way more. I wouldn't think it was Yes-like, but more. I'm trying to think of the because I don't think it's as complex. Like,
no, not as complex as Yes.
Some of the Yes songs, it sounds like everybody in the band's playing a different song.
I feel like it was a lot more like Peter Gabriel era Lamb Lies Down sort of wannabe sort of stuff.
Yeah, which I would call the heavily Tony Banks. Although Tony wrote a lot of songs too, and Phil joined the band. Phil became the singer.
Studio. That's not Genesis. My apologies.
No, but Squonk is great. What was the what's the name of the album with Watcher of the Skies? Watcher of the Skies, watching us all.
Just Google it.
That's a great record. That whole record.
I can just drop names of the albums: Trick of the Tail, Nursery Crime. I can't tell you what songs are on all of them though.
Isn't Trick of the Tail the Phil Collins record?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so
but
that
Squonk, yeah. No, it's either Selling England by the Pound or it's Foxtrot.
It's Foxtrot. I don't own that record. The only one I own, I think, is Selling England by the Pound.
Oh, Foxtrot's my favorite.
Records.
With Peter Foxtrot. And, well, Lamb Lies is easily the best of the Peter Gabriel stuff. I just wish the production was better. And the first album that Phil Collins sings on, Trick of the Tail with Squonk. I think Squonk, not only do I think it's the best Phil Collins song, I think it's the best song that Genesis did. That and You Might Recall, which was a little bit cheesier from the 80s, but I love You Might Recall. Marillion was a cliquey band in my high school. Most of the student councilors. Really? You knew people that, I didn't know anyone that listened to it. Where are they from, Marillion?
Somewhere
That's
in
a
England.
good question.
Oh, they're British. Okay. I wasn't sure if they were Canadian or British.
No, they're British.
Yeah. And there was some other were they a French band, that band Gong? Do you guys remember Gong? How about Camel
Oh, I remember Camel.
and Gentle Giant? Remember all the prog stuff? It was like, I call it the Me Too prog stuff, because you had your big bands, Yes, Kansas, Jethro Tull. Yeah, maybe you could call Pink Floyd progressive at some point.
The only thing I
really
remember from Camel was Echoes. They did a instrumental called Echoes. Not
Wasn't a
related
cover
to the
of
Pink
Floyd's?
Floyd.
Okay.
Wasn't a cover.
Yeah, I
They
don't know.
went like
I did like Gentle Giant, though. I like Just the Same. Just the Same is a great tune. I like them. A lot of progressive stuff I find. Sherman Hemsley was a big prog fan. Yeah, Camel and Gong. And I think Holdsworth played on a Gong record. Is the best prog album of all time Asia's first album? It's fucking great.
Oh, it's a great album.
I guess you would call ELP prog too.
The
Or as they like to call them in England, ELP.
where you at on Wishbone Ash?
Horrible. Horrible. I never got it. This, and look at it. I'm just saying, I'm American. And a lot of stuff in England didn't translate well here. The same way that a lot of stuff here didn't translate there. You know what I mean? Like Van Halen didn't really translate a lot in Europe the way it did here. And there's, bands like The Jam, that whole movement of the mods and everything, and a lot of 80s stuff didn't really translate well here until MTV kind of highlighted it. We would have never had it on the radio. Like when Duran Duran came out, and Krell, you'll remember this, it was big on MTV.
Yeah,
but radio stations weren't playing it, not the ones I was listening to. Emerson, Lake, and Powell.
Well,
what was their song? Touch and Go?
Yeah, I actually saw that tour.
You did?
Yeah. Ingve was
like
supposed to
Cozy
open.
Powell.
And
Who?
Yeah, Ingve. And he busted his ankle in Worcester the night before.
Unreal. I don't know what Transatlantic is. Is that a name of a record?
It's like a super group sort of thing. I think it had like one of the guys from Marillion, Mike
Spock's
Portnoy.
Beard, I think.
Yeah,
the
some other
bassist
guys
from
in
Marillion
it.
he wrote.
Yeah, it just is what it is.
Was the Herring, Jimmy Herring, in that too?
I don't think so, but I could be wrong.
No, he was Aquarium Rescue.
Tangerine Dream.
Do you think? Let me ask you this:
No.
Do you think Peter Gabriel's first solo record would qualify as a prog album? And the reason I bring it up is, okay, not every single song as an individual song has
the
all
opening
the
song for
crazy
sure is
movements
More
and all
Upon the
that sort of stuff,
Burgermeister.
but every single song on there sounds completely different.
Yeah, I will find out. More Upon the Burgermeister. Then you
Right.
had Salisbury Hill. Down the Dolce Vita. Is that on that record?
Yeah.
Great song.
Here
I
comes
think
the
I
flood.
think it's a prog record. It's.
Yeah. Here comes
would
the flood.
say-
It's so good.
I would say he crossed from prog to alternative on the Melting Face album, his third album.
Okay.
It became less progressive and more alternative, like Games Without Frontiers and Through the Wire.
And Here Comes the Flood, he uses this gospel walk. Can you hear
Yeah.
this, by the way? But that walk up that he does where he goes... Sorry, I played it a little sloppy, but that
right.
walk is so cool. In a rock song, you don't hear that in a rock song,
Yeah.
you know? Oh, I just
Yeah,
love
Here
him.
Comes the Floods on that record too. Yeah,
That's,
I think I always get the first two records mixed up. That's why I'm asking what's on it, because the second album with DIY and that was a great record too. But they're very similar albums.
Yeah,
I would say
think the two big ones are Salisbury Hill and Here Comes the Flood. Those are probably
I love Here Comes the Flood.
that record was the first one. Yeah.
Did you ever see the?
I don't know the second one all that well. I haven't listened to it that much.
Oh, it's if you like his first album, you'll love the second one. It's just a continuation. It's all great songs. I'm trying to tell me the songs on it. I'll tell you. I know. All I can think of right now is DIY.
On the Air.
Oh, on the fucking great.
Yep. DIY.
Yep. Do it yourself.
Mother Violence.
Okay.
A Wonderful Day in a One-Way World.
Yeah.
White Shadow.
Yeah. That's a great song too.
Indigo.
Great TV show too.
Yeah. I don't know
Indigo,
any of these songs. Indigo. Animal Magic.
Yeah.
Exposure.
Great. Yeah.
Flotsam and Jetsam.
Flotsam. Yeah. I love this record.
Perspective and Home Sweet Home. This record, by the way, is produced by Robert Fripp.
Yeah. I love the record.
Did not know any of that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to dive into that one because I really.
And then the third album, you know.
I like
third
the third one.
Third one's fantastic.
What's the one that has I don't remember?
That's the third one. Melting Face.
Yeah, well, I know Fripp plays on there too.
Yeah. Well, there's all kinds of guest players on it because Paul Weller plays on in Through the Wire.
Was it September 77 in Police
Biko.
Run 619?
Yeah. Is that Phil Collins on Biko? Or is it still Jerry, what's his name, Murata?
That's a great question. I'm going to look up the personnel.
And I think that's...
He did... It says here that he did play on this record. It doesn't say he did all of them.
Yeah, I think
he's several of the album's tracks.
Yeah, I think, and is the producer of this record Hugh Padgham?
Steve Lillywhite.
Who's the engineer?
Did you say Drew Pablum?
Hugh Padgham.
Hugh Padgham. It's his actual. It looks like his name was Huge Cock in Hand.
Yes,
Hugh Padgham.
It is Hugh Padgham, right? Yeah. Because Hugh Padgham became a big producer after this record because Lillywhite was the producer, but the engineer is Hugh Padgham, who got the drum sound on Biko, and then he produced Phil Collins with In the Air Tonight and did the drum thing.
Yeah. Okay.
And I remember, I wasn't sure it was Biko, but it's one of the songs where Phil Collins said he went in to play on Peter Gabriel's record, and when he heard the drum sound the guy was getting, he's like, "I want you to do my record."
Oh, wild! That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Padgham did the Police. I mean, he did a ton of bands. Genesis.
You look at the it's really funny to listen, or not, I shouldn't say funny to listen to, but looking at the list of people that played on this record, it's a lot of names that you'd know.
On which one? Melting Face?
Yeah, the third one.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, Robert Fripp is on it, Tony Levin's on it, Phil Collins, Paul Weller.
Yeah, Paul Weller's on it Through the Wire.
Kate Bush is on this one.
Oh, really?
Yep. I don't know where, but she's on it. Oh, and who doesn't know John Giblin? I don't know John Giblin.
And I gotta tell you, this album for me is much better than Security.
Which one is Security?
Security is the one after this, 1982. Oh. It would have Shock the Monkey. It would have there's a lot of big songs on this record. Is it the Family Snapshot is on this one? It was the reverse gate reverb Phil was impressed by. Not really. That's it's not. It is a reverse gated reverb, but the thing is, it has to do with the board, and it had to do with miking it from the intercom in the board, because it was a natural effect that happened. I think it's on an SSL board, and he did something with the wiring when he was working on Peter Gabriel's record, and someone started playing the drums, and he was like, "Whoa, wait, what the hell is this?" And it was by accident. There's a great interview with him.
That's cool.
Yeah. And you can mimic it using reverse gate reverb, but they used, it's the, I believe it's an SSL. I could be wrong on the board. But there's an interview with Hugh Padgham talking about it and how they stumbled upon that sound.
Yeah,
I don't know. But Security's not a great record.
Yeah, I don't know it too well.
What can you tell me the songs on that one?
Shock the Monkey. I have the touch.
I Have the Touch is a big song.
Wallflower.
Wallflower's okay.
I'm looking for the rest of the track listing for some reason.
You got the touch.
Oh, there.
No,
it
you
is.
know I Have the Touch.
The
He actually
Family and the
re-recorded
Fishing
it.
Net?
Oh, the Family and the Fishing. Okay.
Kiss
What did
of
I say?
Life
Family Snapshot. Kiss of Life. Yep.
and Lay Your Hands on Me.
Lay your
hands on me. No, that's Bon Jovi. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a good record. I just think it's not as good as Melting Face. And then So is like, that's his Blue Nile hats. So is perfect.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I like Us a lot too.
Us is fantastic. I was working at a restaurant, and the day we worked a late day shift. It was like 5 o'clock. And a buddy of mine there goes, "Dude, you want to take a quick drive out to Worcester and go see Peter Gabriel?" I'm like, "I think it's sold out." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "We'll try to get tickets." I said, "Fuck it, let's go." So we went, and this guy comes up to us with 2 tickets. I said, "Give me 1 second." I walk up to the box office. I said, "Any tickets back in the system?" They're like, "Yeah, 2, 5th row." We're like, "We'll take it." We saw the show 5th row. It was unbelievable.
Man, that's awesome.
And the whole night, nothing. And then second encore, boom, Moon River. That's Nelson Muntz when he goes to see Andy Williams. God, crickets. Literally. Crickets and frogs.
No idea what the fuck you're referencing.
Yeah, sorry. I literally just got a text message from my
I was
wife that
typing
her
in
car
something.
broke
What did I
down.
miss?
Uh-oh.
So I'll be back. I gotta handle this.
I'll be back.
Crowbar, I said when I saw him, nothing for 2 encores, then boom, Moon River.
Simpsons, yeah. Nelson.
Yeah, Nelson Muntz.
What is that?
When Nelson Muntz was so excited to go see Andy Williams,
Yeah, but who's
he's
Nelson
like
Muntz?
the
From
bully
Simpsons.
on The Simpsons.
Oh.
Hey, Nelson, he really hurt himself. I said, ha ha.
Did you watch that South Park thing yet about the Ozempic?
Oh, I only seen the clip that was on that you sent me on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Lizzo watching it.
They parody, not parody, but they mimic so many movies in there.
Yeah.
And as you're watching, you're going, wait a minute, that's from that. It's fucking hysterical.
Yeah, well, listen, I don't want to get too caught up into food talk, but it's unbelievable. Who was it that sent me the thing of the fattest guy in the world, like in the 1800s or something? It was another.
That guy Hughes there.
I thought
It wasn't that big.
You sent that to me, I think, right?
I remember. I don't know who sent it to me.
Because I know what you're talking about. Maybe I sent it to you, but the guy in the 1800s is like nothing. And
Right.
now, just any way you fucking turn your head,
People would pay money to see him because he was so big.
why can't they pay me?
Yeah. And it's like, come on.
I got tits like the bearded lady. Give me $1. You can see.
Folks, donate $1. Donate $5.
From John Stagliano to Nelson Muntz. This is what I love about the DL show.
Oh, yeah. Stagliano.
Was there anything ever better than when Stagliano and Rocco would go over to fucking England or whatever? And they would just drown. They would drown themselves in asses.
Wasn't it Poland or there was a Polish
everywhere,
one?
everywhere.
I'd buy that for $1. Neil Bambury. That is Kurtwood Smith's line in RoboCop. Now all you have to do is go down to your local Walmart to see. Yeah, it's just it's sad. Well, it's sad to love. Yeah, it's just it's sad. We look at Curly from the Three Stooges. Yeah, Curly wouldn't even be considered fat.
Yeah.
Jerome, what was his name? Why am I blanking on their last name? Stagliano, yeah, got AIDS. Yeah, you all know your porn. But yeah, I mean, it's and Ken Berry had a guest on the other day, and she was like, the 8 foods you absolutely must avoid to not be, to avoid being fat. And basically it was just all 8 oils. She's naming oils. I'm like, that's not 8 foods. That's one food.
It's not even a fucking food.
It's not even food.
I tell you what, Saturday and Sunday, I made the homemade ice cream. Oh, shit.
Ed Powers, what was his thing called? Dirty Debutantes? Wait, what did you make?
I made the homemade ice cream with my ice cream maker.
Yeah, I made a cheesecake yesterday. And I don't really eat it that much, but to me, it's like it's not even sweet, but I like it. But no fat. No carbs.
That was my treat for being sober for 3 years. I said, I'm making myself some fucking ice cream, but it's no carb ice cream, so it's not.
And what was the date of your sobriety?
May 31st.
Folks, May 31st, Joe has been 3 years sober. That's incredible.
I was actually, on May 31st, I was actually 3 years and 1 day due to a fucking leap year, so.
Wow.
Well, I tell you, the 3 years when you quit that day, it must have been one hell of a Memorial Day weekend.
That last time I drank, I vaguely remember falling. The next time I'm waking up in bed, and for months afterwards, my leg hurt in the same spot. Like, did something get in there? What the fuck? But yeah.
All right, you two talk amongst yourselves for a sec. I'm going to run to the restroom. And then when I come back, we'll go over some lists we have. But yeah, everyone, congratulate Joe. It's that's something to be admired.
Yeah, Joe, you asked about what I was shaking up in the bottle.
What is that?
It's 0 sugar variety pack sticks.
Crush?
Yeah, you just take water and...
but has it got a ton of shitty chemicals in it?
I don't know.
What is it called? Crush what?
Crush
drink mix packets. Okay, thank you, Amazon.
Yep.
Let me see.
I don't know what the sweetener is, but it's probably
Orange
super.
Crush power drink mix, sugar-free and delicious. Let me take a look. Because what I've been doing is I got a bottle of lime, I got a bottle of lemon. I get like this. I'll get the let me see if it shows because I'm not looking at myself. I get the seltzer water or club soda. I pour a little bit inside. It's like the greatest thing ever.
Yeah. And I put these in seltzer water too.
I've got to be the only guy doing carnivore that can't lose a fucking pound. My metabolism must be fucking dead.
Well, you were doing fine for a while. What, it just hit a standstill?
Well, what I was doing at that point, though, is I was doing intermittent fasting. So I was eating one day and not eating another, So it was like, but when I work, when that other day rolls around after not eating, I'm like fucking, ugh.
What is IV powder? Stride right. I don't know what that is.
IV powder. Yeah. So Yeah, I was showing Joe this.
But this has got.
This is what I was drinking before the 0 sugar packets.
Ah,
I'm not sure if there's.
yeah. There's a girl that posted on Facebook today, and she's like, she uses some supplement. It's you're gonna lose weight 3 times faster. It's some processed garbage. I'm like, just you know what you're doing. Like if you're a trainer and you're trying to push that nonsense, give me
Each flavor has its own chemicals.
Right. Hold on, let me just see. I have a.
Can't read it though.
I can't find that exact box on Amazon because the one I looked at, it had 2 carbs per serving, and I don't want that.
No, there's no carbs. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, there is carbs in this. What the fuck?
Right?
Yeah, the orange has 2 grams per serving. The grape has 1. And the strawberry. Where's the fucking carbs coming from?
That's what I'm thinking.
It's sugar and flavoring. It shouldn't have carbs in there. Hang on.
Sugar is carbs.
Yeah, there's no sugar in there, though.
What are the alternate chords played with the E shuffle? When you see the video live, it looks like 10th fret, but I can't tell what they're playing. What E chord? E shuffle? They mean the gang, 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 gang. That part?
Dun, dun,
It's just a 6 chord, right? 5 to a 6. Bang, gang, gang, gang. Right? Like a.
alternate.
What are the
chords
alternate
played
chords?
Well, the dun, 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 dun,
Stride, right? The inactive thyroid stuff's somewhat nonsense. I was on thyroid medication. I used to take levothyroxine for a slow thyroid. Then they moved me over to Armor Thyroid, which was desiccant thyroid, which worked much better. And then I realized that it's all nonsense, stopped it, and just ate the right foods and dropped crazy weight. And then got my thyroid tested again, and my thyroid was fine. You know what? When you go to a doctor and they tell you, "Oh, you got a slow," they don't know what the hell's causing it. They only know to put on medication, but you can change shit. You can change. A lot of that stuff, Stride has to do with insulin resistance, and you're resistant to it. Processing sugar. But yeah, you can fix it, change it. I recommend that anybody who is fat, first thing to do is stop eating anything that has oil. And in fact, I would stop all processed foods. Bacon, that you can eat.
I just had that tonight.
Eggs.
The bacon and eggs.
Lamb chops. Steaks, just listing salmon. I'm just naming everything I eat all week. And it's so funny. I was watching something and somebody was asking me about eating 1 meal a day. And I'm like, I don't do it to do it. Do you know what I mean? I don't eat 1 meal a day because I'm trying to eat 1 meal a day. I'm never hungry. I'm lucky if I get hungry to eat, like I could easily fast for 2 or 3 days. Pork chops. Peter Brady's here. Christopher Valdez. In 1970, what is that? Valdez 29 million. In 1970.
Yeah, that's right. Gumbo Millennium.
There you go.
1989.
Yeah.
You ever have that True Lemon?
Oh, the packets?
Yeah, it says it's made with real citrus, no artificial sweeteners and preservatives, natural flavors.
There's no sweetener at all.
Like, see, that natural flavors, though, that's fucking a bunch of death. They sneak it in under that.
Unnatural flavors. No, bomb. Weird science.
You know what? I'm dying though. I fucking love mayonnaise. I can't get a mayonnaise substitute.
Oh my God.
What?
If mayonnaise never existed,
yeah,
I wouldn't know or care.
Oh, shit.
Make your own mayonnaise.
I could put mayonnaise on a corpse and eat the fucking thing.
But you would have to use olive oil, but I don't know if you're dead set against olive oil. But
It's high omega.
No,
you can actually use beef tallow. And if you don't want it to have any flavor, like from the tallow, you can either use tallow, which is made from suet, or actually just beef fat, which is the but strain it.
I want it to taste like mayo, though.
You couldn't pay me to eat mustard or even take a taste of it.
You don't eat mustard?
Oil and vinegar, lemon juice. Yeah, well, the oil's poison, so you can't do the oil. Avocado oil it's a better oil. I'll give you that. It's not going to kill you, but it's still really high omega-6 to omega-3, and it's not the best for you.
I found the place online
it's
that
still
sells
somewhat a rancid oil that's not healthy.
I did find the place online that sells the top quality real olive oil. Like they've literally won awards for the last 4 years for their olive oil. It's like the price is crazy, but
yeah, but it's all, like I said, it's still high omega-6 to omega-3. And the whole thing is the whole thing that causes obesity from canola oil and all those seed oils is the omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. And it's very high. And now you're not going to get cancers or anything like that from avocado oil or olive oil, but it's still not great.
Look, while you was gone, I was saying, I think I said to Krell, I'm the only fucking guy that does carnivore that can't lose an ounce. Like my metabolism's got to be fucking dead.
Well, I'd be curious to see what you're eating.
Bacon, burgers.
Yeah. Now, how many?
Pork rinds.
Are you snacking all day or only eating once a day?
No, I'll have a little snack on my first 15-minute break, and that's pork rinds with butter or cream cheese.
What kind of cream cheese is it?
It's the Philadelphia, the good shit.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Because you got to keep everything down. Yeah, I wonder.
So no, the thing is, I mean, are you on a plateau? I mean, you lost some weight on carnivore, and what are you?
I'm kind of yeah, but like I said before, when I was losing the weight, I was doing intermittent fasting, so yeah. I was having one meal, then going about 48 hours without eating. But that doesn't work out so well with work, because when I get to that point where I need to eat again, I'm like,
well, why don't you try doing, instead of that fasting, why don't you just do one meal a day?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Like I looked at, I was nothing.
Well, I mean, like, okay, maybe you're not losing weight, but are your clothes fitting differently?
No. I was looking at a video like one of those YouTube shorts. You ever see the steak and butter gal? She goes, this is what I have. She goes, this is what I have for lunch. I'm like, that's what I'm having in 2 days. How the fuck are you like a stick?
Oh, well, so I'm going to say this to you now, Joe. Let's go the opposite. I think your body's fighting it because maybe you're going too hungry. Eat till you're full. And I'm not saying eat till you're full. I want you to feel sickly. Eat. I eat every day one meal, but I'm eating 5 sticks of bacon that I'm dipping in sour cream, 3 eggs, some other protein. Then when I'm done, if I'm not full out of my mind, I'm drinking half a glass of heavy cream with a Diet Orange Sunkist mixed in there. And after that, I'm like, I don't need to eat for a week. And that's how I literally won't eat. I'm so stuffed.
Get the lemon, Junior.
But that's what it is. Your body, your body's getting fat, and so your body just starts burning it. I always tell people you have to bump the fat. Forget about protein. And the only 2 things, if you're trying to diet or you're trying to, the only thing, and I think it's just to live a healthy life, 2 things you need to worry about: 0 carbs and super high saturated fat. Anything else, it doesn't matter. Protein, people are like, oh, are you doing high protein? I don't know. I'm not counting. I only count the fat. I would never eat egg whites. It's useless food. There's nothing to it. Everything has to be fatty.
But you eat the egg whites with the egg, right? When you eat the egg.
I do, but I'm eating whole eggs.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm cooking steaks and burgers in bacon fat. I made chicken yesterday. I took 4 chicken thighs, put it in a cast iron pan, and then I took a butter knife and buttered bacon fat all over the skin. Then covered the skin with salt, black pepper, white pepper, and pecorino romano cheese. Then put it in the oven and baked it at 325 for an hour and a half. Now,
good.
you have to understand, all the fat and the chicken schmaltz, which is chicken fat, all melts to this soupy concoction on the bottom of the pan.
That's the
Then
best
I take
part.
I take the 4 chicken thighs. I pour the other things into the liquid into a bowl. I eat all the chicken, and then I drink that bowl of fat, which I know is just chicken fat and bacon fat melted down with salt, pepper, and whatever else. And I'm stuffed afterwards. But I did have a piece of cheesecake after with no carbs. It was fantastic. But that's like, and again, like, my waist has been a 31 since I like a 30, 31. My jeans are a 31, but
you know what's fucking crazy? Because you may not be able to tell how big I am from the picture. And I'm not talking about fat. I mean, just even my bone structure. I was looking to get, because with Michael, having to brace him sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
You're forced to put your leg down the wrong way. And you have 2 options. I'm going to let him fall and break his fucking head on the bowl, or I take the pain. And I take the pain. So my upper thigh, I must have the quad or so, whatever the fuck is. I turn it the wrong way. I want to scream. I can't move it. It's one of those things where you ever see like in Mad Max Road Warrior where he's moving his leg with his hands? I'll do that.
Two things I would tell you. This is 2 things I would tell you to do is just to bump your fat way high, and an hour after you eat, go take a walk around the block.
But let me finish what I was getting to. So I measured my upper thigh for to see if I can find a, like a, what do they call the wrap for it?
Yeah,
compression thing. My upper thigh is 42 inches. Your waist is 31.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Holy crap. My waist was, where I had my skinniest, I was a 36, a 38.
I mean, I'm not joking. When I say I had to buy, I bought several pairs size 16 extra, the widest, extra wide, just to get something to fit on my foot. I want a Herman Munster. Or if you would like the best description, I was with a girl one time. She was holding my hands and she goes, "Oh my God, your fingers are like the size of average size cocks." True story.
God.
True story.
Well, she was looking for a fingering.
Right. She said the finger looking good.
I give her the mandible claw.
I thought you were going to say she was like, get that catcher's mitt off your hand.
Shit. It's clobbering time.
I'll tell you, a buddy of mine, Krell, you met my buddy Al.
Yeah.
One time we went to Bickford's. This is back in the mid to late 80s.
When there was a Bickford's, yeah.
Yeah, back in the mid to late 80s. And he ordered the baby apple. Remember the baby apple?
No, I don't.
It's a giant it's like this. It's ginormous. Anyways, the waitress brings it. He goes, "What the fuck am I supposed to do with this catcher's mitt?" I lost it. That's when he was funny. Now he's just out of his mind.
There's this place in Oxford, Massachusetts called Carl's Oxford Diner, and their portions are huge. And if you order something and you finish it, they'll say, "Hey, you still hungry? You want me to mix you up something else for free?" It's
Have you been to Twins Cigar Shop up in Londonderry, New Hampshire?
No, not yet.
We got to go sometime because there's a great diner, the Red Arrow Diner. Nice, like 50s style diner right across the street.
Get your bacon and eggs.
Bacon, eggs, and beef patty.
Do you get
Anyways.
sausage patties?
You can.
sausage?
I'll tell you, like even talking about food, I don't even get hungry thinking about it. But Joe, what list do we have for this evening for the wonderful people out there in the YouTube land? And by the way, folks, if there's a song you want me to do a lesson on, start telling me because I'm running out of songs. I mean, there's a bunch I could do, but sometimes I like to have an easy one just to go.
I have a list that was actually published on May 4th of this year, so it's a brand new list. It's called the
May
best.
the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you, and Revenge of the 5th. Best 1984 albums, 63 records you need to hear. Far from the year that George Orwell envisioned, 1984 was one of the best years in pop music history. They're showing a picture of Metallica, so it's got to be more than pop.
Yeah.
So,
well, Metallica was Ride the Lightning 84, right?
Yep.
So, check out the full. Here we go. Tell me when you're ready. I'm going to start with 63.
I'm ready.
Starting at
number 63,
Number
the
63?
63rd greatest record from 1984.
Yes, it is Ruben Blades' Buscando America.
Why do I know the name Ruben Blades?
I know the name. I have no
know
idea.
the name too, but I have no idea why.
I think he's an actor.
No, I think he's a jazz musician or classical musician. No, jazz,
Let me
right?
look it up. Yeah, he's an actor.
Oh, yeah,
he's
I
in
know this
everything.
guy. Yeah, I
He's
didn't
in
know he was a
everything.
musician. Yeah,
Neither
he's
did
in
I.
The Walking Dead.
Fear the Walking Dead. Yeah, but he's good though. He's been in a lot of stuff. Okay.
Yeah, okay, I know who.
Coming in at number 62, Alaska y Dinarama, Deseo Canal.
What the hell is this list?
It's
Go
a
on.
Am I a
seminal-
Latino?
It's the
J-Lo?
seminal Spanish rock album pulls from new wave punk and pop to explore the extremes of human relationships. Coming in at number 61, The Waterboys, A Pagan Place.
I didn't care for the Water Boys.
Coming in at
I've
number
heard of them,
60,
never heard.
here's some coincidence. It's The Blue Nile, A Walk Across the Rooftops.
Great record. That what number was that?
60.
I think it's better than that.
They're out of their mind. At least
At
they
least
put
they
it on the
mentioned
list, right? Yeah.
It made the list, and I'm impressed by that.
Yeah. They said the Glaswegian band's debut album is renowned for both its high production value and innovative songs that bring together the grounded lyricism of pop with the majestic heights of an orchestral arrangement.
Yeah, it's a beautiful record. Easter Parade's awesome on that record. Stay.
Well, I've never heard them, but after you guys talked about it tonight, I'm going to check it out.
The album Hats is the album to listen to, but Tinseltown and the Rain on the first album, that album is fantastic.
Coming in at 59 is Shannon, Let the Music Play.
Let the music play.
That's what that is? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That was like the only hit off that album.
It's the only song you need to know by Shannon.
That's exactly.
Coming in at 58, David Sylvian, Brilliant Trees.
Another great album.
Is
I
it?
love Brilliant. Oh, I love it. Red Guitar, Nostalgia, Maria. I love that record. Wait, Maria on that record? No. Maria's not on that record. That's on the album with Orpheus. It's got Red Guitar, Nostalgia. I love that album.
Coming in
I
at
like
50
all David Sylvian stuff.
Okay. I'll have to remember that. Coming in at 57 is Robert Earl Keen, No Kind of Dancer.
No idea.
Coming in at 56, I think you guys mentioned this earlier too. It's Marillion with Fugazi.
Hilarious. I never heard it.
Coming in, but weren't you talking about Marillion earlier?
Yeah. I only know some of the songs from when John and I were
I didn't know
roommates,
they
but
played with Fugazi.
No, Fugazi's the name of the album.
Oh, okay.
Number 55, I'll give you. I'll read what it says. See if you can guess. The heavy
Or is
metal
the album
bands-
Marillion by Fugazi?
Maybe that's what it is. No, it's Fugazi by Marillion because they're saying the artist and then the album. Okay. Coming in at 55, this heavy metal band's 9th studio album may not boast the same radio hits as their previous records, but it is full of Easter eggs like blank and blank. What band? What album?
You got to tell me the blank and blank.
Oh, come on. If I say it,
Yeah,
it
give
gives
it
it
away.
away.
Okay, ninth album.
Metal band, ninth album, 84.
It's got to be Sabbath.
And
Probably.
it's not as good as the album that came before it, but the album covers are kind of similar artwork.
Well, Mob Rules and
No,
Born,
you're not.
Born
You're
Again.
not.
I was not right.
You're not right.
It's Judas
Right.
Priest.
Defenders,
It's Defenders of the Faith because
Yeah.
it's the same album cover but blue.
Yeah, it's basically this. It's got to be the same artist,
Yeah,
but it's that bluish.
and you're
like,
right.
lion
Screaming
thing.
for Vengeance is way better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Screaming for Vengeance is good. Defenders of the Faith.
And Blue
ain't bad.
Nile, A Walk Across the Rooftops is also a better album than Defenders of the Faith.
Okay.
And I like Defenders of the Faith. I mean,
That's not bad.
Sentinel's on that record, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Coming in at 54, Jean-Michel Jarre, Zuluk.
No idea. Never heard it.
Coming in at 53, In Excess, The Swing.
Swing is good.
Is that the
It
one
was
with the one
unfortunately
thing?
it was a swing and a miss.
Is that the one with the one thing on it?
No, that's Shabu Shaba. The swing is the one after that. I believe. Is it a beautiful girl on it? What is the name of this? What's the hit on that album? Beautiful.
I don't know.
It's
All I
not the
know
one
is-
with this. It's This Time. That's not on the swing, is it?
I
This
don't like In
time.
Excess, really.
Oh,
at
it might
all,
be
but-
This Time. Is the last time that we will fight like this?
Yeah.
Or is that
the
on
one
Listen
thing
Like
is the only
Thieves?
song. One thing is the only song from In Excess that I like.
Oh, the same album. Don't Change is on that. I love that.
Well, I gotta
I'm
listen to it.
standing here on the ground. Don't change for you. Don't change a thing.
Coming in at number
Listen
52
Like Thieves. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
is David Bowie with Tonight.
Oh, is that the album with Blue Jean? Blue Jean. I just met a girl named Blue Jean.
Let me see.
Jazzing for blue jeans. Oh. There's a hit on Tonight. I
I
just
should-
don't know.
I did a search for just his name. That's
Yeah,
why
I'm looking. Loving the Alien. Don't Look Down. God Only Knows. Cover of the Beach Boys.
Terrible.
Tonight.
Go on.
Yeah.
Tonight with Tina Turner.
Blue Jean. That is number 6.
Yeah, Blue Jean.
Yeah,
I keep-
that was a big hit.
Yeah.
You guys remember Blue Jean? I just met a girl named
Yeah.
Blue Jean. Jazzing for blue jeans. Oh.
Coming in at 51. I hope we're not starting with this shit. It's Bathory with Bathory.
I was going to
Oh
say
my
Celtic
God.
Frost.
How do you put
Unfucking-
Bathory? Defenders of the Faith isn't the best Priest album, but I'll take that over any Bathory, any fucking. Take a bath with
I don't
Bathory.
even have to listen to Bathory to know that it's not that Defenders is better.
I know. Coming in at number 50, Billy Ocean, Suddenly.
Is that the one with the Loverboy and
Billy Ocean is Suddenly Life
Yeah.
has
Yeah,
no
that-
me.
but does that have
Caribbean
a
Queen.
Loverboy?
Yeah, this says it features the
Caribbean
number
Queen.
one hit, Caribbean Queen.
Caribbean Queen. Now we're sharing the same dream.
I think we're going Spanish again with 49. It's Charlie Garcia, Piano Bar.
Oh yeah, Charlie Garcia.
You actually know that?
No.
Okay. Coming in at 48 is Kathy Mattia with Kathy Mattia.
That I know the
Apparently a
name.
Country
No, no,
singer.
no. Yep.
Yeah. Don't know her.
You're putting this at 47, you motherfuckers? Tell me why I have to be a power slave. I don't want to die. I'm a god. Why can't I live on? Iron
Great
Man,
record.
power slave.
At least they're better than Bathory.
Hey, I'm impressed that a list. Now I'm going to listen to that Bathory record because someone put Power Slave on a list that has A Walk Across the Rooftops by the Blue Nile.
All right. Well, coming in at 46 is Curtis Blow with Ego Trip.
They're playing basketball.
Yeah, basketball. Coming in at 45 is Laurie Anderson, Mr. Heartbreak.
She did that Peter Gabriel song with him. Flying Birds. Excellent, but that's not on that album.
Coming in at 44, XTC, the Big Express.
Don't know it.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what's on there.
Coming in
I
at
know
40,
Skylarking. I know Apples and Orange. Or lemons,
coming in at
whatever.
number 43, The Judds, Why Not Me?
Oranges and lemons.
Because I don't listen to that music. Okay. Coming in at 42 is Tina Marie with Star Child. Star Child.
Is Love a Girl on that record?
Yes.
Must be. Yeah, that's the
And
only
what
song
else
I
is
know.
on that record? Because she's fantastic.
The Demon, the Spaceman, the Catman, and Star Child.
Star Child. No, what other songs are on now that with Love a Girl?
I'll have to look it up for you. Hold on.
Portuguese Love or she
We
had a lot
got
of
Lover Girl, Out on a Limb, Jammin', We've Got to Stop, Help Young Blood Get, Alibi, Star Child, My Dear Mr. Gay, and Why Are You Gay? And that's it, I think.
Okay, yeah. So so Love a Girl's the only song on that record.
Okay, coming in at number 41, Rush, Grace Under Pressure.
Great record.
Good album. Coming in at number 40. Okay, go ahead.
Not my favorite, but it's still a good record.
Well, it's a good record. Coming in at 40 is an I know I've heard you and fucking Hugh Caldwell going on about this. I don't know if it's a band or actually two people. It's the Cocteau Twins.
Cocteau Twins are three people.
Oh, okay. Then
It's,
shouldn't it be the Cocteau Triplets?
No, well, it's from a song by Simple Minds. Let me ask this: is it Garlands? No, it's Treasure.
Treasure. Oh, I thought I
Treasure.
said it. Yeah,
No, you didn't
Sorry.
say the name. I was trying to think with the year. 84, Treasure.
Treasure.
I'm going to say this and go on a limb. In 1984, Treasure could be easily in my top 5 albums of that year.
Oh, I'll have to listen.
That
to
album's fantastic. Simon Raymond is the bass player. Why am I blanking on the guitar player? And Liz Fraser's the singer.
The
and
way you
Robin
started saying
Guthrie.
that, I don't know why, but you started sounding like what's that guy that did the top 40?
I'm Casey Kasem.
I just need
And
some
that
bass
person
playing.
was Robin Guthrie on guitar. Cocteau Twins, again, very ethereal. Best songs on that album. Pandora's on that. It's great. Domino. Oh man, I love that record. By the way, if you guys don't know Treasure from Cocteau Twins, shame on you.
Oh my!
And I can say that with confidence that Hugh Caldwell would be the only one who listens to it.
Well,
they
you
are
and him
from
are
his
the only ones
hometown.
that ever mention it. Okay.
Well, the Blue Nile and Cocteau Twins are both from Glasgow, Scotland.
Okay. Coming in at number 39, Ashford and Simpson with Solid.
That's why we're solid, solid as a rock. Love it. Love it. That's the song. I don't know the record.
Okay, I'm going to make you guess this one. It's a funk group, 1984. 2 hit singles were Misled and Cherish.
Come on. Cool in the Gang.
Cool in the Gang, okay.
Misled's fantastic.
37, Lloyd Cole and the Commotions with Rattlesnakes.
Don't know it.
The UK thing. Coming in at 36, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, From Here to Eternity.
Don't know it. I'm not a Nick Cave
I'm getting
fan.
a little impressed with some of the stuff I'm seeing coming up. Coming in at 35, Rat, Out of the Cellar.
Wow.
Fucking round and round. But wait, we're going to get even better. Coming in at
Back for more.
Back for more. And back for more. Number
Lack of
34,
communication.
Simple Minds, Sparkle in the Rain.
Simple Minds are good.
Coming in at 33, The Pogues, Red Roses for Me.
I love the Pogues. For me, the highlight their album is If I Should Fall from Grace of God. But they're a great band.
Coming in at 32, whoever made this list has got my respect for putting this band on the list and putting them at this number. It's the Scorpions, Love at First Sting.
Fantastic record.
Still Loving You, Big City Nights, Rock You Like a Hurricane.
I didn't
Yeah.
like Rock You Like a Hurricane. But
I like it.
As soon as the good times go, what else was on that? Crossfire, Coming Home, Bad Boys Running Wild.
Bad
Great
Boys
record.
Running Wild.
Coming in at 31, various artists. It's the Footloose soundtrack.
Was that
Kenny
shitty record
Loggins.
84?
84.
Yeah, Kenny Loggins. What's
It's a great bass line on the
Holding
song
Out for a
Footloose, though.
Hero.
I had to do a booze cruise one
Let's hear
year,
it for the
and
boy.
they called me last minute to see if I could play bass for them. So I said, sure. They gave me a list of songs, and Footloose was on the list. And I'm like, all right, let me listen. And I couldn't believe, I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be a workout.
I think Nathan East played on that.
I don't know. Every morning coming home, back on stage, it feels like coming home again. All right, go on.
I'm looking something up really quick. Let me see. Oh shit, I did own that CD. I listened to that a lot. Okay, now coming in at number 30, George Strait. Does Fort Worth ever cross your mind?
Yes, it does, and I'm a huge George Strait fan. What's on that record? Does it say?
It says it just mentions one. The Cowboy Rides Away.
Cowboy Rides Away. Okay.
Coming in at number 29, Black Flag, My War.
You know what I think about these knockoff punk bands?
Yeah. Coming in at number 28, I remember this band. Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Welcome to the Pleasure Dome.
Pleasure Dome is a great record with Relax and two Tribes.
Two Tribes and Two Tribes Go to War. Cover of
great videos too.
Cover of Bruce Springsteen's Born to Run too, right? On there.
I think so. Yeah.
Coming in at number 27, I own this CD and listen to it a lot. It's Bryan Adams, Reckless.
Is that the one with Cuts Like a Knife?
No, it's the one afterwards. It's the one with Summer of 69.
Summer of 69. Yeah.
Somebody and Run to You.
Oh, Run to You is great.
Yeah, great album. Number 26, Diana Ross, Swept Away.
Swept Away. First of all, there's no Diana Ross album that's ever going to compare to 1980s Diana.
Okay.
I'm finding it hard. In fact, going back to Frankie Goes to Hollywood, I have a clip here from an early 80s interview with him. Hold on, let's check it out.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.
All right. I don't know if that's a he or a she, but they could actually be dressed for the 80s in that clip.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 25, Echo and the Bunnymen, Ocean Rain.
Great.
Coming in at 24.
I love that whole band.
Okay.
Echo and the Bunnymen, I love. Upside Down, it's called. Upside Down, you're turning me, you're giving love. Great. And I'm coming out. Yeah, the whole record was produced by Nile Rodgers and Bernie Edwards, and they wrote the whole thing. They also did some great stuff with the Sister Sledge.
Dead Air Time.
Sorry.
Joe's looking something up on his phone.
I do something for the nurse. Coming in at number 24, Husker Du, Zen Arcade.
Little Bob Mould there. I wasn't a big fan of Husker Du, but I love Bob Mould's solo.
Is it Husker Du or Husker Du?
Whatever it is.
I was always curious.
I always just say Husker Du. I don't care. Husker Du.
The next one is a long title. It's coming in at 23. It's Harold Budd / Brian Eno with Daniel Lanois, The Pearl.
Daniel Lanois. Okay, so Harold Budd's a piano player, and he did a record also with the Cocteau Twins. I don't know that record, but I'm sure it's great.
It says the ambient duo's 1984 album is a study in subtlety that shows that time, space, and quiet can evoke strong emotions. It makes me want to listen to that, though. Okay. Coming in at number 22. Joe Hisashi, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. I think that, the soundtrack to the anime film.
All right.
Okay. That's the Japanese composer. 21, Los Lobos, How Will the Wolf Survive?
That was with the La Bamba shit on there, right?
I don't know. It has A Matter of Time and Signoranata Norte.
I don't think the La Bamba shit's on there. La Bamba came out in
it was their first. It was their big record, though.
Yeah, it was their first one. Yeah. Well, that's I forget the songs on that, but there were 2 hits off of that. Well,
he just
what
said-
you call hits.
Coming in at, well, now we're at the top 20. Oh no, did I say that? Yeah. Now we're at the top 20 with The Art of Noise, with Who's Afraid of the Art of Noise.
That's a good record. That's all Trevor Horn shit. Is Moments in Love on that record?
They only mention Close to the Edit, but let me look it up. It has A Time for Fear, Snapshot, Who's Afraid, blah, blah, Memento, Beatbox, Close to the Edit. Is that one you said?
No, Moments in Love.
Moments in Love is number 6. It's 10 minutes.
That's a great song.
Okay. Coming in at number 9, Manuel Gottsching, E2, E4.
We're in the top 20, and
It's number 19. It's made up of a single hour-long track. The pioneering electronic artist's masterpiece paved the way for what we understand as dance music today.
well, I can't argue with his choice in that. It just I never heard of it before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Coming in at 18, The Pretenders, Learning to Crawl.
Is that Back on the Chain Gang?
Yep. I also think I Got a Kid, I'm 33, baby. Middle of the Road is on that record, I
Oh,
think.
that's Middle of the Road's good.
Hmm.
Coming in at 17, it's New Edition with New Edition.
Are you kidding? See, then he does throw something like that in there, and you're like, what?
Yeah. Coming in at 16, The Egyptian Lover with On the Nile.
What the hell's going on here?
I don't know.
I mean, all the albums in '84.
This is the way. Let me tell you what the guy who made this list is saying.
Fuck you, Dave.
yeah. He brought in with some good choices at the beginning.
Uh,
Now it's just fucking crashing and burning.
All right, coming in at 15, Talking Heads, Stop Making Sense.
Oh, overrated.
Yeah.
Everything about Remain in Light is a decent album. Everything else by that band is terribly overrated.
All right, coming in at 14, Tina Turner, Private Dancer. What's love got to do with it?
That was 84, huh?
84, yeah.
I remember when that debuted. I was out in Arizona.
Coming in at 13, Wham! Make It Big.
I like it.
Wake Me Up Before You Go.
Yep.
I think Everything She Wants is on that, right?
Are you kidding
Or is
me?
it Careless Whisper?
Sorry. Let me look it up. Krell, you're supposed to be the lookup guy. I read them. You look them
Oh,
up.
geez. Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Oh, what do you want to know?
Wake Me Up Before You Go, Heartbeat, Freedom, Credit Card Baby, Everything She Wants, Like a Baby, If You Were There, Careless Whispers, number 8.
It's a great record. I forgot Freedom was on that.
Freedom.
Yeah,
No,
that's
that's Freedom 90.
Oh,
yeah. I was gonna say. I remember Wham UK came out before that. When they were called Wham UK, what was that song? It was
They
like,
were never called the Wham.
Yeah, they were called Wham UK.
In
the
the
video used to come on preview.
In the States, I think they were until they got that sorted out. That's because there was a band called Wham here, licensed or something.
Oh,
But you have to understand they don't ever call themselves Wham UK. You know what I mean?
The video used to say Wham UK.
Well, if you
It
remember,
says, and you go to their Wikipedia, Wham, briefly known in the U.S. as Wham UK, right?
okay.
Because they had to deal with legal shit with some band Wham saying they owned the name.
well,
what was that song though? That was on preview all the time when they hey sucker. What you? It's like a dance
Hold on.
tune.
Let me look up their discography here. The first album's fantastic. Bad Boys, Ray of Sunshine.
Bad Boys,
Oh,
that's-
Wham
that's-
Rap is what you're talking about.
No, I was talking about Bad Boys.
Oh, okay. They had Wham Rap. That was a big hit. And then Make It Big. Then Music from the Edge of Heaven, which was had a different corner. That's their best song. Hey, Cold Roses. All right, what else you got? What else is on this list?
Coming in at number 12, REM with Reckoning.
No. REM's one of those bands where it's like, as long as people don't say they're good, I can tolerate them, but they're terrible.
All right. Coming in at number 11, Minutemen, Double Nickels on the Dime.
What the fuck?
Nope.
All right, we're in the top 10. The Replacements, Let It Be.
No.
Okay.
You better start spouting off some names here.
Coming in at number 9, The Smiths with The Smiths.
Dave will agree.
Yes.
Maybe not that high. But
Oh, that album's fantastic. Still Ill, This Charming Man. What difference does it make? That album's. I mean, I'll say this: every Smith album is flawless.
Okay.
So I'm good with it.
Coming in at number 8, U2, The Unforgettable Fire.
I was wondering when that was going to come up.
Another fantastic record, and it could be U2's best bid. To me, I always bounce between that and Octung Baby, and I tend to lean towards Octung Baby, but Unforgettable Fire is fantastic.
Okay, coming in at number 7, Madonna, Like a Virgin.
No.
Okay, coming in at number 6. All right, number 6, Run DMC with Run DMC.
No.
That high.
Okay, we're in the top 5 now. Coming in at number 5, Sade, Diamond Life.
Wait, does
I
Run
like
DMC
Sade.
Run DMC have its Tricky on it?
No, this is with it. I don't think it's this one, but it's Tricky. It's fucking great.
Great.
Yep.
But you know what? The best song is Christmas Time in Hollis Creek. Yeah, it's Trick. No, wait. Come on. Fucking search. Oh, because it's self-titled, so they're just showing me info on
I'm the King Rock.
Yeah. All right, coming in at number 5, Sade, Diamond Life.
I like Sade.
I love Sade. I love her band.
Operator.
Smooth Operators on that. What about
No Ordinary.
Taboo? Sweetest Taboo?
It just says it mentions Smooth Operator and Your Love Is King.
Okay.
Krell could look up the rest.
Yeah, Sade's band's awesome. And if you guys want to hear a great record with her band without Sade, it's called Sweetback. And every song has different singers. Maxwell sings on it, and it's great. It's fantastic.
Okay.
Sweetback.
Tracks, Smooth Operator, Love Is King, Hang On To Your Love, Frankie's First Affair. Why did it cut off there? What the fuck? Okay, Frankie's First. When am I going to make a living? Cherry Pie, Sally. I Will Be a Friend, and Why Can't We Live Together?
All right, so the next record had to be the one with Smooth Operator.
No, Smooth Operator was on that one.
Oh, not Smooth Operator. Sweetest Taboo. You give me the sweetest taboo.
Well, what album's No Ordinary Love on?
That's the best album. That's Love Deluxe.
Oh, okay.
Boom,
Used to play that in a band.
Boom, boom. So I gave a bass lesson a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about like playing funk lines and stuff. And they were like, "What's the hardest bass line you had to play at a gig?" And I'm like, "It's No Ordinary Love," because for 10 minutes you're playing the same phrase nonstop, and you don't want any difference in it. Yep. It's always just going to be that boom, 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 boom. It's fucking nuts. Yeah. Purple Rain better not be Neil Bamberry. I will be very upset at that shitty record.
All right, we're coming in at number 4.
Purple Rain
is a band that earlier tonight Dave made a comment that Yngwie Malmsteen gave this guitar player
1984.
breakfast.
1984.
1984. Van Halen. Might as well jump.
The next to the worst album from Van Halen.
But
I agree with that statement.
I loved it though.
It's a good record. It's the 5th best album with David Lee Roth because only Diver Down is worse.
I like Diver Down. Coming
Diver Down's good. It's good. It's just Hannah Bomb says Diver Down was better.
There you go, Hannibal.
You know
Well,
what?
I will argue. I will say this: Diver Down's best 3 songs are better than any song on the 1984. I think the best
Hang 'em
song on
High,
84
Secrets,
is
Full Bug.
Drop Dead Legs and
I
Girl
like-
Gone Bad.
I like I'll Wait.
And I'll wait.
Wait.
Those 3 are great, but are they better than Secrets, Full
I
Bug,
love Secrets.
and Hang 'em High?
Love the guitar solo on Secrets.
The record's fantastic. Those 3 songs. The problem is then the rest of the record, Dancing in the Streets.
Yeah.
There's actually, if you guys want to see, Steve Rosen did an interview with Eddie Van Halen right after he did that song, Dancing in the Streets. Here's the interview.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.
The only thing gayer than Van Halen's Dancing in the Streets is the Mick Jagger, David Bowie one.
Oh my God.
South America. Oh my God.
Those 2. Coming in, we're in the top 3. Coming in at
I
number
don't think
3.
so, Neil. You think so? Like you're that into Van Halen? Like to me, I would say Women and Children, Fair Warning, 2 then 1. And I'll tell you, I used to think 1 and 2. I think 2's better than 1 now. Light Up the Sky, Women in Love. I don't think you get better songs than those 2 on 1. I'm the 1, maybe. All right, go on, Joe.
All right, we're at the top 3. Coming in at number 3, an album that contained one of my favorite metal songs of all time, Trapped on the Ice. Dave?
Ride the Lightning.
Ride the Lightning, Metallica.
Yeah.
Do we want to guess who number 2 and number 1 is? Who's number 2?
Bruce Springsteen.
He's got it. Who's number 1?
Prince.
Prince.
Yep, Dave, you're not going to be happy. It's Prince. with
Oh,
Purple Rain.
ridiculous. Well, first of all, let me tell you, Purple Rain isn't a great record. Computer Blues stinks. I don't like Let's Go Crazy. I think 1999 is a way better record. I think Controversy is maybe a little worse, but no one's saying Controversy is the greatest record. I think Dirty Mind from 1980 blows it away.
I'm surprised Talk Talk wasn't on the list.
I'm not. Well, do they have an album out in 84?
Yeah, It's My Life.
Yeah, well,
Not
they're
my
ridiculous.
favorite album from them, but it's like,
Ooh.
I would say the highlight from that year, Cocteau Twins Treasure, Blue Nile, A Walk Across the Rooftops. The Purple Rain movie was okay. I mean, I saw it once in 1984, and nothing's
seen it.
ever driven me to go back.
Tooth and Nail.
I mean,
like
I don't
some
know what
mention
I'm
Tooth and Nail came out that year.
What's
couldn't
the
stand the
best
weather.
playing acoustic guitar you've played? Not best sounding, but your best on your fingers. Looking for a Martin Dreadnought, but also want to. So for me, it depends on feel is a very subjective thing. And my favorite Martin for feel is between 2 guitars. It's the Eric Clapton model, which I think is called the 0028 EC, or the HD28V, which is a D28 with a herringbone trim, and it's all vintage. So you have the V-neck, the big fat. That's what I like. To me, those guitars play great. Now, are they the best guitar I ever played? No. I think the Collings D2H is a better version of the Martin D28V, HD28V, but it can get expensive. And I also think the best guitar I ever played acoustic would be a Santa Cruz orchestra model pre-war. That's the name of it. It's called the pre-war. It's got this big baseball bat neck. But if you're interested in a Martin, those are the 2 Martins I would suggest. The Dreadnought is the HD28V, and the Eric Clapton model, the 0028 EC. And, you know, it's got the Eric Clapton signature on it, which is too bad. But, I mean, if it's the only way you can get that guitar. You can't buy a 0028V, but that's basically what it is. It's a great guitar. Last in Line and Slide It In are both from 1984. How embarrassing
Slide
for
In.
that list maker. Last in Line for sure.
Better be on there.
And Slide It In could be my number one. It's so good. But now listen, I'm with this guy. And didn't you say Tooth and Nail was 84?
Yep.
From Dawkins, another great record. But
album.
Iron Maiden, the Cocteau Twins, Blue Nile, Scorpions, those things should all be in the top.
See what other albums for that? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not big on the budget Takamine because at least unless they're making it outside of Korea now. I always thought their Korean factory was no good. The Japanese Takamine, the expensive ones, are nice. Seagulls made at the Lassado factory in Canada, and those are nice.
But those are expensive.
No, Seagulls aren't that expensive, but you can
I'm thinking Breed Love. Breed Love's fucking expensive.
They can be if you buy in the USA stuff. That company sold, so I don't know where they're making their guitars anymore.
I did, about a decade ago, I did have a Takamine. It was like the $450 model. It was beautiful, though. It sounded beautiful.
So I'll tell you, if you're looking for a cheap guitar that you want it to be nice, and I say cheap, I'm saying for an acoustic, anything under $1,000 is pretty good. $500 is great. I would look at the Recording King line, and even if you can find it used, some of the Recording King are Martin ripoffs that really play nice. Made in China.
By the way, Body and Soul came out in '84 too. Joe Jackson.
Body and Soul's all right. Is that what
it's
you
not
can't
his best
get what
one.
you want?
Yeah, you can't get what you want.
Yeah, that's a great song. So also with acoustic guitars, the Guild GAD series, GAD, they don't make them anymore. You can find them used. That was made in the same factory as these Epiphone master builds, and also the same factory that Eastman was making when they first came out. Now, I don't know if Eastman is still there, but they used to be made in the same factory as the GAD, the Guild Acoustic Design Chinese guitars, and they were great. They were great. Heart and Soul from Huey Lewis. Was that 84?
That was 83, I think.
Gang, 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 gang,
Yeah,
gang,
it
gang.
became a #1 album in '84, but it.
So, Joe, Friday, you got to get some games in on your own, though, first. You could try. I got to get Joe to stop playing Fortnite with me.
Oh, what I wanted to mention is that I saw that movie Abigail this week.
Oh, you did? What'd you think?
What'd you think?
You know, I'm not big on the vampire genre because it's been overdone, but they did something different with it. That's why
it was fun.
Yeah,
I hate vampire movies.
Yep, same here.
I watched.
You know the problem with Santa Carla? What do they call it in the movie? Santa Carla? Too many damn vampires. That was the end of Lost Boys.
I watched Satanic Hispanics on Shudder. It's an anthology movie, but it was good. It was fun.
Satanic Hispanics.
I stayed away from it because of the name. When I saw a video on YouTube, the guy suggested, I was like, let me check it out. But let me give a taste of what I stumbled upon that's going to keep us going for a few weeks at least. How about these lists? Best albums of 79, 69 records worth revisiting. Best albums of 89, 57 full-length albums worth your time.
Oh, yeah. 79. I love 89. 89, I can think of two albums that would be in my top 5.
Best albums of 1974, 68 records worth revisiting.
74.
How about best albums of 78, 74 must-hear records?
We've
go
done
on
78.
and on.
No,
I love 78.
Yeah.
No, not on that list, though. No, not this list.
The best albums of 1977, 73 essential records. I saved this link for next week. Oh, here we go. Maybe next week's the best albums of 1985, 59 records worth revisiting.
85. I think I'd like to do either 79 or 89.
I bet you the is one of your top 2, right? Mind Bomb.
89? I was thinking the Cure Disintegration and the Blue Nile hats.
Ooh, best albums of 1980, 71 records you need to hear.
80 to me is the best year.
Well, I have this link saved.
Although I think it's hard to beat 71.
The most influential albums of 19... Oh, wait a minute. Best albums of 86.
86 was... that was a big year for all of us.
Yeah.
High school for all of us.
Yeah, that was my...
graduating year.
On May 31st, 1986.
That was your graduation day?
No, that was when I saw Ozzy opening. He was on the Ultimate Sin tour. He was Metallica was opening with Master of Puppets. 5 months later, Cliff would be dead. So I saw them with Cliff.
Yeah, I saw.
Hold on. I didn't see Stride Right's comment. Which of the Canadian guitar companies use the offset sound hole? I don't think they're Canadian. I think that's aren't they out of like North Carolina? What are they called? Mick something. Not McNaught. McPherson.
Oh, I've heard that name before.
And Tacoma's out of Washington. They closed years ago and got bought out by Fender.
They made really good guitars. I played one before. It was this huge dreadnought, and oh my god, that projected.
Which one?
Tacoma.
Yeah, and like I said, they got bought out by Fender. Well, I shouldn't say they got bought out by Fender. They went belly up, and then Fender went and bought them out.
Yeah, I want that name.
McPherson, yeah, that's the one. I think they weren't they out of where's Mc? I thought they were out of like North Carolina. I could be wrong. Let me look them up real quick. McPherson guitars. Oh, I clicked on the link instead of just looking where. Nope, they're in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
I think that's what Sparta, Wisconsin.
This is Sparta.
Who's watching what later tonight? I got a movie all set to go.
Well, someone needs to give me a movie.
Do you have Netflix?
Let's just say I can get just about anything.
There's a movie that I think it came out today on Netflix. I've been waiting. It's called Under Paris. It's about a great white in the Paris canals or some shit.
I love fucking sharks.
Me too. I've been waiting for this. And Netflix must know. They sent me a reminder today. Hey, a reminder, this is finally on. I'm like, oh, you fuckers. You knew I was looking for this.
Stride Right Guitar Center doesn't set those guitars up. Martin sends them and Taylor sends them out. And the reason they use Taylor will use 13 gauge, 13 to 56 on a dreadnought because it has to do with the moving of the top. That's what and then the smaller bodies, they use 12s. I don't think they're too high tension at all.
But I don't like to be a top. I like to be a bottom.
Yeah, but that's...
Hey,
I think Michael Jackson was a top. Anyways, folks, let me tell you, things to do. Look up the Scott Thorson interview. And that's number one. The thing with Taylor guitars, people always oh, they're so bright and Martins are warm. If you think your Martin is warm, put on the strings Taylor uses, 80-20, and it'll brighten it up. And if you think your Taylor's too bright, put on the phosphor bronze strings and it'll darken it right up. I prefer 80-20 strings. We might think Vacation with Ed Helms and Christina Applegate.
Hey, do you remember the toys from the 70s? Remember the Shogun Warriors?
Of course.
Do you know what they're coming out with? They got to fucking torture me. A Shogun Warrior-sized Mecha Godzilla. Guess how much they want for it?
How much?
$395.
Wasn't Shogun Warriors hold on, am I thinking of the right one? Was that Grandizer and all those guys?
No, that was Force 5. That was Force 5.
I think you're thinking of Great Mazinga.
No, there were 5 shows on during the week. There was Grandizer, there was the Space Cateers, there was
what was it was
Star
one
Avengers.
There's one that
Guy
begins with
King.
a T.
Oh,
Hold on, I'm looking it up.
Guy King. Yeah, if it's T.
UFO robot known as Grandizer,
Yeah.
Japanese animated, was in the Mazinger series.
Yeah, great Mazinga.
Oh, Mazinga. And let me see who they
Let's see, Star Avengers, Space Guitarists.
I had
Grandizer,
I used
Guy
to love my
King.
Shogun Warriors. I had the
And-
Shogun Godzilla. He shot his fist, and he had the tongue with the flame would stick out. Why he shot his fist, no one ever knew. But I played with it.
I'm trying to figure out where the other guys' names were.
Yeah, I'm gonna 5 different. Okay, I've got. Hang on. Oh, there was Guy King, Star Avengers, like I said, Space Guitarists, Grandizer, Vanguard Ace.
Thank you. Yeah,
I remember Guy
each
King was on
night of
Friday.
the week. Each night of the week, there was a different one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Each day, I mean, it was on the afternoon.
Yeah, but it would always play on the same day. Guy King was on Fridays.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Guitarists was Wednesday.
Right.
Yeah.
What was the one with the T?
No, D. Vanguard
D.
Ace.
Oh, Vanguard Ace. I think Vanguard Ace was like either Thursday or Tuesday. I think Grandizer was like Wednesday.
No, I'm pretty sure Vanguard was Monday. The Grandizer was Tuesday, and Star Avengers was Thursday. I believe.
Grandizer
Space
was the
Guitarists.
best.
Oh yeah, Grandizer go!
there's this.
Yeah.
Tell me if this pic opens up a picture for both of you. This was. Come on, you fucking Mac. This was my best friend as a fucking child. Let's see if this works. There we
What
go.
is that?
That's the great Mazinga.
Right, he fights Grandizer, doesn't he?
I think there was a Grandizer Shogun too. You know what that Mazinga's going for?
Oh wait, what was the one you said? The Shogun Warriors. What is that?
Look, they were the series of Here.
Well, Shogun Warriors were totally separate. I mean, they the Shogun Warriors, those are the ones that shot their fists all the time. And
I remember the game, the toys.
But here's a Grandizer Shogun Warrior. Here. I had him too. Oh fuck. I always forget with Mac it's the command button, not the control.
That's funny.
no, Shogun Warriors, there were 3 of them.
$339. I had them all in a trunk. I went on vacation with a couple of friends. I came back. My brother goes, "Do you like how I cleaned the room?" I'm like, "Where's all my stuff in the trunk?" He goes, "I drew it out." I could have fucking choked him. Oh. I was fucking stumbling around like Fred Sanford.
All right, guys, it's 10:30. I am going to.
Done.
I don't know if I'm going to have a cigar. Maybe I won't.
The movie is
I'm going to
called
go look for a shark under Paris.
Under Paris. I'm watching it. I've got to put Mikey to bed. I'm grabbing some seltzer with lime juice in it, and I'm watching Under Paris. Dave,
Excellent.
you're smoking a pipe. You haven't. Why don't you smoke a cigar through the
I
pipe?
haven't smoked my pipe in a while. I get bored with them. They don't have any flavor. I need a cigar. But I think I'm just going to go on and play my brother in a couple of games of Fortnite. Kick some ass, kill some people.
I thought it was a porn with Paris Hilton. Under Paris.
Why not?
I finally take a chance to take you to. Oh, all right, Everett. Nice. Very
Everybody in the chat, good luck and Godspeed, or God luck and good speed.
good. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
It was a quick 2 hours.
I got to go, but I don't know if anyone's been watching the Karen Reed case. I am sure.
Chad.
Hey, where is that? I am sure that. Here we go. If you guys have been watching this case, it's really interesting. They say this girl ran over a guy, not her, but a different girl ran over her boyfriend with a car in reverse. Yet there's no contusions on the body, just a black eye, and he's 6'2". The tower's over the car. Very interesting. And let me tell you, when the jury finally deliberates, they're going to come back in 5 minutes.
Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise.
God, I love that.
Greatest.
There's no way they're going to convict her. All right, everybody, have a great night.
God bless.
Very good. And let me get my clip to say goodbye. I got to look at it. Hold on. Where the hell is it? There it is. All right, everyone. I'm out of here. Very good.